Hey guys, welcome to Redneck Off the Range. I'm your host, Redneck Mini 14, and today I'm going to talk about these nice little flip sockets that I found. They're made by Neiko. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. I found this little flip socket set on Amazon for like between $25 and $30, I believe. I bought them a little while ago, just now getting around to talking about them. But it comes in this nice little carrying case. It's not, a fancy carrying case. It doesn't even say the brand on the case itself, but it is a nice little plastic carrying case. You just slide it over, open it up here, and you have 4 flip sockets plus a little 3-inch extension for your impact or your torque wrench or whatever that you're using, and just comes in a nice little carrying case, and it has all of the basic sizes that you will probably ever need for working on your vehicles, working on your friends' vehicles. And I'm talking about the DIY type of person, not the hardcore mechanic, I use them every day kind of person. And you're probably, if you're DIYer, you're probably not even going to use all of these sockets, but it is nice to have all of them for those just in case situations, because to be honest with you, the majority of your lug nuts, which is what these are for, is for lug nuts, you're going to be able to, use just these 2 flip sockets, and then even this side of this flip socket for the majority of your vehicles, and this one too. Because some of these can be interchanged, and I'll go over that in a little bit, but some of them can't. So anyway, let's just kind of go over them. So you have 2 that are all metric and 2 that are all standard or American, whatever you want to call it, SAE, if you will. So the first one is 17 millimeter on one side, 19 millimeter on the other side. My lighting is not the best, but 17 millimeter is basically all of your European style cars, your Fiats, your Mercedes, your BMWs, your Volkswagens. That's basically the only thing that 17 millimeter is used for. And if you don't have anything that's European, which a lot of people don't, then 17 millimeter is not going to be for you. But if you do, then 17 millimeter is great, and you're going to need it a lot. 19 millimeter and 3/4, which is what this side and this side are. That's very common. Use it on a lot of older Dodges, even a lot of newer Dodge like cars and Chevy cars, and smaller Ford cars, and even some older Ford trucks. They'll use 3/4 and 19. Again, they can be used interchangeably typically because they're so close in size, and they're used a lot. Also a lot of Hondas use 19 millimeter 3/4. Up from that, you have 13/16 and 21 millimeter. Again, a lot of times these can be interchanged, especially if you have swollen lug nuts or even broken lug nuts, and you can't use a certain size that it's supposed to be. A lot of times these can be interchanged, and a lot of times when I worked in the shop, we did interchange these 2 sizes. But a lot of times you'll find them on a lot of Fords and just a lot of other kind of cars, a lot of Toyotas, basically a lot of your not your European, but your Asian cars, like your Toyotas, your Hyundais and Kias and stuff like that. A lot of times they'll use 21 millimeter, and a lot of times, again, like I said, you can use 13/16. 13/16 is typically your American cars, like your Fords and I guess your Chevys and stuff like that. 21 millimeter is typically going to be your Asian cars. Up from that, you have 22 millimeter and 7/8. These are a lot of your bigger vehicles, and a lot of some of your performance cars, like your Dodge Challengers, Chargers, some bigger Hondas, and big Chevy trucks, stuff like that. And again, like if your 21 or your 13/16 lug nuts are swollen, you go up to the 22 or the 7/8, depending on what works best. And like I said, this is a whole set, so If you have a broken lug nut or a swollen lug nut and want the specific size that it calls for doesn't work, well, you can always flip it around or go to a different one, and you have your solution there. And then the last one is 15/16. This one you're probably not going to use a whole lot unless you have a big Dodge or Ram truck. A lot of big, 2500, 3500 and up Dodge Ram trucks use 15/16. Those are the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head that use 15/16. So that one's not going to be as common, but again, if you're into big Dodge trucks, or your friends have big Dodge trucks, your family, 15/16 is probably going to be used a lot. I'm a big Dodge truck kind of guy. I don't have one right now, but in the future I might. So this would come in handy for me. And again, not all of these are going to come in handy for me at the moment, but in the future some of them might. Like my mom's Jeep uses 22mm, and the truck has 22mm lug nuts. My truck has 19mm or 3/4, and then my Toyota Camry has 21mm. And then of course we have some trailers that we can use these for too. They're going to be 19mm and 21mm. So this set does have a lot of potential for me. Again, I'm probably not going to use every single size. Like, I'll probably never use the 17mm, but if you have a Volkswagen or a Mercedes or whatever, and you're into working on your own cars, doing your own tire rotations or whatever, then this set, could come in handy for you. Again, like I said, this set does, will come in handy for me in the future. I'll probably use several of these sizes, and you never know, I might have a friend or somebody who might have a weird lug nut that I don't have a different kind of socket for, but this set does have almost all of the lug nut sizes that you'll ever need. Again, that's this set's made by Neiko or whatever. My guess is that's Chinese or something, so not like a high-end American-made product, but I do think that for a standard DIY type of guy like myself, this set will work just fine. Anyway, that is the Neiko flip socket set with the 4 flip sockets and 1 3-inch extension. That was Redneck Off the Range, and until next time, be safe.